Hey guys, I'm Mama Bear to Many. I am mom to 15, and little Azariah is here. He is snuggling mommy. He's so snuggly this morning, so sweet. So I will share with you the update. We are about ready to head back. They are going to be bringing stuff into the back of the van. I unloaded with one of my daughters all the stuff into where we were staying, and then they are unloading most of it while I hold him. And yeah, they're going to unload most of it, and then I'll go in, do a once over on the room, make sure everything's out of the fridges, all the cords are, yeah, all that type of stuff. We packed already. It should just be stuff coming down. But oxygen takes forever to bring back down because you need lots of oxygen. I think we used during this visit, we used 6 large tanks because that's what I had. And then I want to say like 8 small tanks. I'm on small tanks now. I have 3 small tanks left. And so, but thankfully there was kids at home, and my provider of supplies, he said it would be no issue. He dropped off oxygen and he'll pick up all the empty ones next week. So I'll have oxygen to go, today's Tuesday, to go through the rest of this week. So at home we have a concentrator, which it plugs into the wall, and then he runs off of that. And it makes its own oxygen through electricity, which brings your electric bill up quite high. I have found out. Good golly. I don't really have a baseline for before and after, but yeah, our electric bill was really high. So I'm assuming that most likely it is that. Because we're not really running too many other things. So yeah, I might cut out my bottle washer as well. I'm not sure what I want to do. I need to research it more to see how to bring the electric bill down. It's been years since I've had to worry about that because I brought it down so well up in Maine that I haven't really had to worry about it. So let's do a little update video. This morning was kind of an odd morning. Actually, yesterday was a really weird day. Something happened before we went to the hospital. I'm trying to think what happened. I don't even know. I don't know. Anyway, so we walked over to the hospital. It's about a mile. It actually has felt really good. I'm walking at least, since we've been here, I've been walking at least 2 miles a day because here to there is a mile. So now I feel comfortable trying to walk down to the beach, which is a mile from our house, but there's like a big hill. But I feel more physically fit that I probably would be able to do that. So that is a good thing. I've been wanting to get to that. Sometimes you just got to push through and do things that maybe aren't your favorite or you don't want to do or you don't like. Also, while we were here, we were on the 3rd level, and a lot of times if I didn't have Azariah and I was running downstairs, then I would take the stairs versus the elevator. But if I had him, then obviously I had the elevator. So his appointment. So yesterday we walked over to the hospital, and he had, in the morning, I was confused at what he had. It was like sports medicine, and he gets his braces. So he had his braces done technically last week. It was really Thursday, so a few days before, and he got new braces. So I was a little confused by why we were going to this doctor, but I guess they are like the evaluators of the progression or degression. I don't know how you'd say that. Digression? Yeah, it's been a long couple days. Of his hands, like the contractures on his hands. So they're just like evaluating that. They said they only need to see him like every 6 months to make sure that we keep his splints like up to date if they start to do whatever, to make sure just to make sure we bring them back. They basically will evaluate to see if at some point that he would need to have any surgeries for his hands. I don't know how I feel about that, but we don't have to cross that bridge right now anyway. So he does really well. He can flex and move his fingers, but this was the morning, real life. I can just tell you like the recap of morning, and it just sounds so peachy. We walked over there. Then we went to go up went and got a coffee, And because I have Panera Sips Club, every time I go to cancel Panera Sips Club, I started it when we were back at Brigham and Women's, because it was free for 3 months. Every time I have gone to cancel it, it says that I can have the subscription for an additional 3 months at $3.33 a month, which is less than a cup of coffee. So even if I bought one coffee, then it would be saving. So I've just kept redoing that. I had my daughter sign up, who was with me, sign up for the 3 free months on her phone, on her account, so she could at least get 3 free months. So we did that. That's how I'm doing all the coffee things. Actually, you can get a free drink. It doesn't have to be coffee. Every 2 hours with Panera Sips Club. No, I'm not sponsored by Panera. Feral Bag, real life. Yeah, we're in the older minivan. Look, the whole ceiling is coming down. This is real life, people. I love some people's comments where they're like, oh my goodness, you must be rich, and then other people are like, oh, you're so dirt poor. Anyway, opinions, you know what they say about them. So we got there, got our coffees, and then went over to the correct elevators, and all of the elevators except for one is broken. So normally with 4 elevators, there's a line to get up the elevator, and one elevator. It was kind of fun though, because behind me was a nurse that I had in neurosurgery, and she was so sweet. She was a runner, and she was going to be running by our house, and so through this, they had like a Wells race or something like that. Anyway, you guys are probably going to say my feral bag is disgusting. If you've been here a long time, you would know that in my other house, people always used to say that my fly strip was disgusting, but I'd much rather have a fly strip than to have flies like in my food. But yeah, feral bag is what it is. Cutie pie. He's wide awake. He likes to snuggle just like this. Like, he's pretty snuggly. He just likes to listen, and sometimes you'll turn him the other way, like to look at his face and talk to him, but he really likes to just be close to you. So we waited, and it was sad because there was like a couple kids that were like in pain that were trying to get up the elevator. Yeah. Eventually we decided to ride the elevator down in order to get up, because every time it would come back up, then it would be full of people and nobody could get on. So me and this other nurse and her person that she had all decided to go down in order to go up, and it worked. So we got up to the next floor, and hi. Gotta fix his little prongs in his nose. He knows how to like rub them out of his face. So we got up to the floor, and I check in, and then I realize his shirt is all covered in liquid. Yes, his shirt, his G-tube thing popped out. If you know, you know. So I tried to get them to write, and my doctor has tried to get them to write a prescription for the one that the hospital actually uses, and they said they no longer do that. So we kept the one that the hospital used quite a few for maybe like 2.5 weeks, and I just made sure that I flushed it really good all the time. Hi. Yeah. These cheap tubes are, I was like, crap. Sorry. I know some people think that's a swear. I don't think it's a swear, but anyway, it's junk. It's so frustrating. So the thing popped off. Now for 2 days it folds, right? So the ones in the hospital don't fold. I can't really show you because he's like this right now. I have one for a week, and it folded after 2 days, like wherever he lays, like if he lays or if he, and it folds. So then I'm always having to like tape it around and then retape it up so the stupid thing doesn't bend in half. It's so frustrating. Why not just why insurance companies don't just buy the appropriate one? We will never know. It's the one that goes with his button. So now we're just using these generic knockoffs. Anyway, stupid thing comes out of the thing. And so we're in the waiting room, have to get him completely butt naked in order to, yes, yeah, we had to get you all naked. We got you all naked so we could fix your G-tube. So then I'm like, oh, I'm hoping that I don't have to get another G-tube. Finagled it in, got it to retwist on, which was good because the other ones that I was having an issue with wouldn't retwist on. They would, it's like the plastics, it's almost like the plastic is not, the lip isn't made wide enough to screw correctly into the button. That seems to be the issue. The other ones, it would completely like not even be able to screw back on. This one, I was able to like take it all apart and screw it back on. But of course he's butt naked and they call us in. So I have the, clipboard with stuff. So I'm trying to give it to like this CA. I'm like, here you go. He's like, oh, I don't need that. And I'm like, okay, I'm just trying to get his G-tube thing. He's like, I don't need it. So I threw it under the stroller and we went in with him. Nudie booties, huh? Yeah. But got in there. He took his temperature, so he felt better. And then I situated his G-tube, and we got some new clothes on. Then I realized that I usually keep three extra sets of clothing in Ziploc bags, and I had one. So I took the t-shirt and pants that had gotten, the t-shirt that had gotten wet from the G-tube spill, and I kind of clipped it to the edge of the seat. Now I had clothes back at where we're staying, but it's not helpful when you're in the hospital and have a bunch of appointments. So what do you think? Yeah, I know. So we did that. So we got them all fixed, had that appointment, and then we went. I have a friend that's still there with her son. Oh, he's so cute. Oh my goodness. He just had his first birthday. And so, I should just tell you that. So, my friend, I will link her. She has a TikTok. I don't have TikTok, but I will figure out how to link TikTok into here because she does lots of tutorials on, her son is a trach, on like doing the trach and G-tube and those types of things. She just started a TikTok to help other parents to be able to do those things, so that she's trying to bless other families that way. So if you want to go check her out, I will leave her in the description box below. Her name is Maria. Actually, I don't know if I can say that. I think I can because I'm not inpatient anymore. I can't talk about I can't talk about anybody if I'm inpatient that's at the hospital. It's part of policy. But we're friends. Anyway, her son's so cute. She was like, we got together and we ended up, I had a meeting that was a Zoom meeting, and all the gardens in the hospital were like filled with people. It was chilly outside. She's like, let's go to this floor. We were on cardiac together. Both of our babies were getting heart surgery at the same time as well. We actually started off at Brigham and Women's together, and then it's just really weird. It's like every department we were like in together. It's kind of weird. Yes. And so we went there, and I had a Zoom call with early intervention. I know a couple of people had asked about that. So early intervention, is going to be following him. I don't understand all the ins and outs of insurance, but insurance will pay for a couple OTPT type visits, but early intervention has a bigger scope of people that will follow him for a longer period of time, which will be wonderful, because then you'll have like a team of people that follow him from now all the way until he's, you know, a couple years old. So that would be a blessing, I think, for him, so they can see like his progress and not just like put him on like where he's lacking, but rather see where he's progressing. So yes, you gonna tell us stories? Yeah. So, oh, good job. Good job. They're actually really happy with his little coughs like that. It helps like move secretions, and they're happy with that. So, had that interview meeting. Took like an hour and a half, and then after that I had a meeting with pulmonary. So we went over and discussed his what the sleep study people had felt and what they think, and just to get an overview. So next week he has most likely a scope, which is like a camera that goes down into to see if they can see any obstructions. We talked a little bit about his obstructive sleep apnea and how we want to manage that. They felt more comfortable. I know last time I spoke with you after speaking to the sleep apnea specialist, and she said she wanted to do a repeat study, and they said they don't feel like that is necessary at this point. In the future, or if it gets worse, or if he gets sick and whatever, then that's different. But he seems like he's really well managed, so they're comfortable with where he's at. They did say they're going to get us a nebulizer called in so that he has that, and they will just and they'll do saline, just straight saline, so that it can break up some secretions. And then I have a boogie sucker machine. We have a boogie sucker machine, don't we? So we have that he'd be able to like break up the secretions and then be able to suck them out. Whether it's just like extra secretions regularly, or if he was sick, it wouldn't necessarily have to be if he was sick. You guys are crooked. You can see steering wheel baby. Oh, let me see. I was trying to lift him up to my shoulder. Okay. So that was kind of exciting that they felt that way. One of the people that came in was somebody who saw him when he was like over at Brigham and Women's, so less than a month old. And so it was just nice to hear him be like, I'm so thankful that he's where he's at. I had a feeling he wouldn't need a trach, and you know, just beautiful. Like, yeah, it was just really nice to talk to them. So they feel comfortable just doing what we're doing, and then like just keep evaluating him. So we would just reevaluate in 6 months. So that is the plan for that. We will have the obstructive sleep, what the heck is it called? Ornology? Why can I not think of this? It's ear, nose, and throat doctors. What is the technical name for that? Not orthology. I don't know. I can't think of it, guys, right now. So, a lot of you had mentioned in a couple of my videos, don't worry, you're tired, and you are correct. I am tired. I am averaging 4 to 6, if not more, appointments in a week. So that's tiring. It's tiring, and most of the time I'm driving to Boston twice a week. So just that in of itself is tiring. And then we're homeschooling, and we are cooking and cleaning and doing all the things, and taking the kids on field trips and taking them for walks, and yeah, just trying to still live life. So it can be challenging. His feet's done perfect because we wanted to change his bag. So I think that's about it for the update for this week. Maybe not. No. You know what? I am doing an update after this that's going to be his nursing OT and PT, which is going to come out Friday. Today is Tuesday, so I will add that onto this. And then next week we'll have our first meeting with early intervention, and we have that scope next week to do, so I'll take you along for that. I think it was difficult for me to, right when we got out of the hospital, to update you with things because I just felt so overwhelmed with what everything was going on, but I'm hoping to do an update for you guys once a week if we have things actively going on, and then if we start to stretch things out a little bit, then I will do that. Yeah, we'll play it by ear. Azariah. Hi. Let's see his face. We took Azariah to the swan boats. Did you like the swan boats, Azariah? Yeah. You like going for a walk, don't you? Yes. Do you see your feral bag? I see it too. Love you. Say bye-bye. He is tuckered out. He had OT and PT, and the nurse came out today, so this was really like their first full evaluation. It was perfect because he was wide awake. They did some PT with him, just some stretches, had him sitting a little bit higher up in the boppy. We talked about like different seating possibilities for him. Let me think. So OT, it was really exciting. She gave different, I'm surprised we never did this, like with all the different things that I had in the hospital. It was just basic like facial massage that gets a baby ready to want to nurse or latch onto or be interested in some sort of oral feeds. And so honestly, that was kind of exciting. You could see his tongue moving all around and just doing all sorts of things. Last night, my daughter was sticking her tongue out at him, and he kept sticking his tongue out back at her, which was so special. So he is tired. He is ready for a nappy. I need to do his eye drops and then probably lay him down and put one of his splints on. So that has been our week. I am very thankful for this week, and I feel very blessed by the therapist. I had only met them briefly 2 weeks ago, so it was nice to actually get to see them one-on-one, and they really seem really sweet. So I feel very blessed to have that. So I hope you all have a blessed and wonderful day.